We're hearing it all right now. Budda Baker is not going to come to the Eagles. Then we get another report. Sources, Eagles and Cardinals working out a deal for Budda Baker. Then Budda Baker gets put on the IR. What the hell is going on? Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, Dingbat here. Hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're hanging in there. Hasn't the NFL learned? Haven't they learned? You give the Eagle fans a bye week, a mini bye week, week 2 of the season. You better believe we're going to start speculating about potential Howie Roseman moves and what he could do. And the big name right now is one Budda Baker, okay? A lot of Eagle fans think that the Eagles should go out and get him. They think that there's a plan in place. And there's for good reason. It's not just being thrown out there by the Eagle fans in thin air. We've gotten all sorts of different reports. We got reports saying that the Cardinals don't want to trade him and he's not going to get moved to Philly. We got another report saying that the Eagles and Cardinals are deep in negotiations for Budda Baker. And then, of course, Budda Baker goes on the IR. My feelings about Budda Baker are simple. I don't think the Eagles should trade for him. I think the Eagles should be giving him. After what that bum-ass coach, Jonathan Gannon, did to us at the Super Bowl, I think it's fair. I don't think the Eagles got enough compensation, but that's a whole nother thing we'll get into in a second. But before we do that, if you're new to the channel and you like the content, make sure you hit that like button. More importantly, make sure you subscribe to the most censored, the most throttled, pause, Eagles content creator in all of the internet, and I've been getting throttled like you wouldn't believe. It hurts my ass. I've been throttled that much, pause. But we stand here and we're still strong, putting out the videos, making the content, doing what we got to do. Now, in this video, and I have to do it like this because I have to think about this. All right, this video is going to talk about the opposite reports that we have gotten over the last 24 to 48 hours, both saying completely opposite things. And I'm just going to tell you what they both are. You can make your own decision about whether you think which one is fake, which one is not, whether we have a great chance or not. I'll tell you what I think at the end of the video too, but I'm just going to put it out there. I'm not saying either one of these are right. I have no idea, okay? To be honest with you, if I had to lean one way, it would be lean to the Cardinals not trading for him. But we're just going to talk about both of these, okay? Now, the first thing we do need to talk about when it comes to Budda Baker is that Budda Baker has been put on the IR. He's put on the IR. I don't think he can play for 4 weeks. Here was a report. The Arizona Cardinals have placed safety Budda Baker on the IR for a hamstring. Now, what's interesting is in 2018, the NFL changed the rules. They changed the rules that you can now trade for a player on the IR. So I was kind of surprised, and I had to double check this because I thought that you couldn't, but they did actually change the rules so you can now trade for a player on the IR. So I only bring that up to say this. A lot of Eagle fans, I haven't really bought into this one as much as some of the other ones, but a lot of Eagle fans feel that Budda Baker was a healthy scratched and he's healthy being put on the IR, that it's a bigger deal. It's not as big of a deal injury-wise as they're making out to seem, that the Cardinals are pretty much stashing him so that they can move him. So this is what people are thinking, and yes, you can trade a player on the IR now. I don't know if that would help the Cardinals. If they really want to move him, I don't know that you put him on the IR, because any team that sees that he's on the IR is maybe not going to give you as much as they would, because if the Eagles trade for him, I believe they'd have to wait 4 games before he could even play. So I'm not sure that the Cardinals would actually do that. You know, and there's a lot of thought that the Cardinals want to tank. The fans might want to tank. Jonathan Gannon wanted to win those 2 games this season. He wanted to beat Washington, and he wanted to beat the Giants, and he choked and blew leads in both. In both games, he blew leads, and now he's going to get double moonwalked in the ass when they go up against the Cowboys this week. So he's 0-3. And you figure a team 0-3 may start to look and say, well, you know what? Maybe we should go into tank mode now because we're 0-3 and we're done. And maybe another loss by the Cowboys on Sunday will force the Cardinals' hands to start making moves and start getting rid of some of the veteran players. Now, if that happens, then Budda Baker probably be one of the first guys that they would look to trade. He's already asked for a trade. We know he was unhappy. They did rework his contract. So who knows, okay? Now, there were 2 reports that were sent to me in DMs. Shout out to Daz and some others who sent me stuff on Budda Baker and what was going on. The first one I want to talk about, probably at this point right now, is the most realistic one of the 2. But it says this, and this was from 97.5 The Fanatic. Quote, I've been talking to a bunch of people in the Arizona about this for months and months and months. I know the Eagles are interested in a safety, but it seems Budda Baker is off the table. At Jeff Kerr, CBS, on the idea of the Eagles acquiring Budda Baker from the Cardinals. Now, that may be very true, and I do believe that he's right. But here's the opening that I see with this whole thing. He's saying for months and months and months. Well, yeah, before the season started, they might not have really wanted to trade him. They may have wanted to go in and try to win games. But once you go to 0-3, as they will on Sunday, you got to wonder if the dynamic in Arizona starts to shift, okay? And that is very, very possible, okay? So we have to see what that means. Now, the other report that came out, and this was one that a lot of Eagle fans probably really liked, probably couldn't believe, and it's still kind of hard to believe. But here was another one, and this was from Shonda Brown. Miss Shonda Brown, don't know who that is, says, the Philadelphia Eagles are, quote, in serious negotiations with the Arizona Pound, non-hashtag Cardinals, to acquire star safety Budda Baker. The deal is, quote, close to done, according to source in the Eagles front office. Now, if it was that close to being done, why would they put him on the IR? That's the big holdup with that. If it's really close to being done, why are you going to put him on the IR? That wouldn't make sense. So I really have to question how true that can really be. Because if it was close to done, you let the Eagles decide if they want to put him on the IR or not, okay? I also have a theory about the Cardinals. I have a theory that Jonathan Gannon, that they won't do anything with the Eagles, and the Eagles aren't really going to do anything with them. Maybe the Eagles are a little more open to it or not, but because they screwed the Eagles and the Eagles got picks higher, I think the Cardinals want to screw the Eagles. I think they want to screw us over. That is why they traded Isaiah Simmons to the New York Giants for a 7th-round pick. I mean, it is what it is. Hey, come here. Oh, so I got a little visitor. Here you go. Wanted to see what we were doing. Say hello. Say hello. Say hello. A little visitor comes over to see what I'm doing. Everybody loves kittens unless you're a Cowboy fan. Found out in my stream the other day, Cowboy fans don't like kittens. They don't like kittens. They don't like anything peaceful and gentle and nice. They only like satanic stuff, They probably wanted to sacrifice this little kitty, but Philly 500 won't let that happen. No, we won't let that happen, will we? So, what was I saying? So to me, it's just a little bit weird that if that trade was so close to actually happening, that they would sit there and put him on the IR. That's why I can't believe that tweet either, because it just wouldn't make sense. Now I hope that they could get a Budda Baker. They definitely need a safety. The Eagles need a safety. I think we have been more hurt by the loss of C.J. Gardner-Johnson than by the loss of Javon Hargrave because of how good Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis have played. There is no question about it. So we definitely need a safety. I don't know if Budda Baker is going to be the guy they look to trade for. I don't know if it's going to be a guy like Jeremy Chinn, who I would, if I had a choice between Budda Baker and Jeremy Chinn, I'd rather have Jeremy Chinn. He's younger. I'd rather have him. He's younger. But I don't know. I don't know what to think about the Budda Baker situation, except for I don't believe that the report that says they aren't going to trade him for months and months and months. I've been trying to find out whether they're going to trade him, and they're not going to trade him. I don't know that that's going to hold water when the Arizona Cardinals are 0-3. I also don't know that the Cardinals would throw him on the IR when they're close to a deal done with the Eagles. So what's going on? Here's my guess with what's really going on. The Cardinals probably want to move him once they know they're out of it and they can't win. But they're going to wait closer to the deadline, and they're going to put him on the shelf and make sure that he's healthy so they can get maximum value when they do trade for him. I don't think it's something that's going to happen right now, but when you get closer to the trade deadline, that's when I think that this thing is in play. The question is who else is going to want him, and who else, what other safeties are going to be in play as well. The Eagles do need to improve the middle of the field. They need to improve the linebacker position and the safety position. Now, it may be impossible to improve those both, but you got to improve one of them. And the thing with the safety is it may be really, really important right now, especially with Avonte Maddox out. You know, one of the things that we haven't talked about when it comes to Avonte Maddox and losing C.J. Gardner-Johnson was, if you had C.J. Gardner-Johnson on this team right now, you could easily put him in to the nickel and put him in that slot and let him just take over where Avonte Maddox was, because he's played the slot corner position before. So you could actually do that if he was there, but because he's not, I think the loss of Avonte Maddox almost makes that safety position more important now. I think you got to look to get a safety, probably even before a linebacker. However, you also can't be picky. You got to take what is given to you. So if there's a situation where there isn't a Budda Baker available or a Jeremy Chinn available, but there's a guy like a Patrick Queen available, you got to jump on it. The Eagles got to me, they got to make a move at some point before the trade deadline to try to shore up the middle of that defense. Once they do that, I think they'll be good to go. It's the difference between us Eagle fans and Cowboy fans is we can admit where we need work, where we have holes and got to get better, and where when we need to look and try to get somebody to come in and help us. They think they got the greatest players of all time. They got white gold in their helmets, and they're going to go to the Super Bowl and win it every year, and every one of those defensive players is a Hall of Famer, and they're the doomsday defense, blah, 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 blah. That's not us. We know where we're good, we know where we're bad, and we got to fix the middle of this defense, and we got to try to do it by the trade deadline. So I don't know what's going on with Budda Baker. I don't know which one is the correct story, which one isn't the correct story. But all I know is most of the time, these kind of stories fall somewhere in between, in the middle. So maybe the Cardinals are going to be open to trading him when they are basically 0-3, 0-4, 0-5, whatever. When it gets to that point, they'll do it closer to the trade deadline. Maybe they put him on the IR to make sure and assure that he'll be healthy for when that time comes. I don't know. It's going to be really interesting. But Budda Baker, the Eagles are definitely going to have to get help. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's how we vision. We're all just living in it. So I don't think I said this in the video, but the trade deadline is actually going to be Halloween. It's October 31st. So Budda Baker will have come off the IR about a week before the trade deadline even gets here. That makes me think even more so that they want to protect him and basically keep him bubble wrapped so that when the trade deadline approaches, they could go out and get him. What's it going to cost for a Budda Baker? I don't know. But I'll tell you this, I'm not giving up a second round pick. I'm not giving up a first-round pick. Maybe a third, I'd think about it. But like I said before, I'm much more interested in a guy like Jeremy Chinn if I could get him. Budda Baker would be great, don't get me wrong. But, it depends. The Cardinals, I don't know if they want to deal with the Eagles, though. I just don't. Denzel Washington out.